the motor is now cranked up, and we are moving up the highway of freedom toward the city of equality, and we can't afford to stop now because our nation has a date with destiny.
Well, Dr. King was not the only prominent figure marching through the streets in the 1960s. Many impactful people came before Dr. King, and many came after, carving out their own place in history. But very few possessed his ability to captivate an entire nation. When Dr. King spoke, people listened. The mountaintop speech, the I Have a Dream speech. Dr. King was at the center of many iconic moments in civil rights history that motivated people, changed their minds, and inspired new hope. Well, following in a similar spirit, Omaha high school students will hone their own method of expression at the second annual Living a Dream competition. The competition is sponsored by the City of Omaha's Human Rights and Relations Department. Students compete in music, poetry, dance categories. The main theme for this year is learning to live together as one united people. And with us are Peter Sucksdorf and Willa Rausch. They'll be both, Willa won last year, right? Peter won last year too, and he's performing again tomorrow. They're joined by Dr. Franklin Thompson with the city's Human Rights and Relations Department. Thank you all for being here with us this morning.
Glad to be here.
Peter and Willa, I want to start with you guys. You know, when you're thinking about this competition, it's about your expression, right? Mm-hmm. And so I wonder, where do you draw your inspiration from?
I draw my inspiration from a multitude of sources, but especially the Living the Dream competition. I found a lot of inspiration in my experiences as a teenager, growing up and kind of discovering who I am, being surrounded by people that I care about, and also seeing the hardships that they've been through and the hardships I myself have faced, and just in a community that at times, especially nowadays, can be very torn apart. My inspiration was drawn from there.
Sure, how about Peter? Where's your inspiration come from?
I draw a lot of my inspiration from people both in my life and people who I've learned about from the past, who have done great things to enact change in their communities, because I believe that we can learn from our past by looking at it and seeing what people did right, so that we know what it would work well in the future. Yeah,
can you tell me a little bit about what you're going to be performing this year?
I am performing a piano piece called Injustice. It's about the ways that people in the past have used justice to fight injustice, and who have fought against different things, sort of like inequality and racism and other problems that have plagued our country and others throughout the world.
Yeah, Willa, what did you perform last year?
My piece last year was called Don't Tell Me. It was a piece focusing on gun control and our current climate surrounding, like, being a student at the time, and what that kind of feels like, and the sense of fear that we have. So it was a very emotional, raw piece.
Yeah, Dr. Thompson, you know, the connection between art and expression and social justice, I mean, it's really the essence of art in many ways, don't you think?
It is. I grew up in the era where all the beautiful songs that were written that inspired us to do what we had to do. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to reignite that in young people today, to get them, you know, I'm not against hip hop, I'm not against pop music, but I want some of these kids to kind of get back into the activism and social consciousness frame of mind.
Yeah, you know, the main theme for the competition, right, is learning to live together as one united people. And I wonder why that's an important lesson that you've identified for young people today.
It was Martin Luther King's #1 dream. Now, he had several different versions of that dream, but the #1 dream was to live together and not necessarily play games with one another, because a lot of times the hate that we have it's not even real, it's manufactured.
It's still a super relevant issue this many years later, right?
It definitely is, and it wasn't, even back then, it wasn't all about color, it was about being real, and it was about integrity. And so the children today, even if they are advanced compared to my group in terms of the color, there's all kinds of issues having to do with bullying, not doing the social services and the, you know, going out and helping the community, right. And those things are important.
You know, as far as the competition goes, what are the categories that students are going to participate in?
The greatest number of submissions is poetry, spoken word. It can be poetry or prose. And then we also have we have 2 dance categories. One is interpretive and one is more performance. And then we also have vocal music and we have instrumental music.
Wonderful. Willa, as you think about this and as students compete, and you did last year, do you feel like you're living out Dr. King's dream?
I think I am to a capacity, and I really hope that I am. And I hope that I can continue to do so, writing more music and doing more service work and just continuing to spread the message of music and expression.
Yeah, Peter, do you see the fight for equality today happening all over the place?
I see people from Washington to all around the country, in small towns and big cities, fighting for what they believe in and fighting to create a better place for everyone. And I think that's very important. I think that what we're doing here is an important part of that, getting the message out to people so they can work towards that change too.
Yeah, and for both of you, I mean, this goes beyond your individual performance, right? I mean, you've got to take this out into your communities, into your classrooms. Are you talking about your message with your peers and with your parents or other adults?
Yes.
And what's that conversation like?
For me, at least, at Central is where I go to school. We are a very politically active and socially active school. We've had multiple walkouts based on like different issues that have arisen. So that's a big thing in talking like that. Actually, in our choir right now, we're doing a piece called The 7 Last Words of the Unarmed, which is all about honoring those that have died due to police brutality. And so that's another way that we're continuing to spread the message.
Peter, how about you?
There's a lot of things in my life, like different. Like I go to Holy Cross Lutheran Church, and like we do lots of things there to help our community and to make everyone feel respected and welcome. And things at school, North has a very welcoming environment, and they make I think the school overall does a very good job of making sure everyone feels welcome and everyone is accepted for who they are. Because that's the most important part, is being able to respect yourself and accept yourself for who you are. And if other people do that, it's easier to do that for yourself.
Yeah, you know, there were a lot of people back when Dr. King was marching who didn't want to hear his message, who didn't want him to spread his message. And I wonder if you think that's true for even some people today. And I wonder how both of you deal with that if you encounter that.
If I am to encounter that, I feel like the best thing that I could possibly do is to keep singing my song, whatever song it is, or to keep saying what I'm saying, because a lot of times there's no getting through to someone until you can truly touch their heart. And if the only way to do that is to just persevere no matter what, then that's the way to do it.
I think that when you encounter people who are resisting this kind of change, that it's the most important things are to respect them and to understand where they're coming from, so you can show them, because usually it's out of ignorance that they have these superstitions or beliefs about people that are unfounded. And it's important that you don't discount them, because that just fuels more animosity between groups. You need to just sort of cross the divide and get them to understand you as well as understand them, so you can bring everyone closer together.
Franklin, this has got to give you a lot of confidence about the future, right? To hear this from a young generation.
I feel like a proud grandpa. A few of the students will enter this because there's money and there's a trophy and there's prestige, but this is exactly what you're hearing right here. This is exactly what I want to hear. I want to hear that the money and the prizes are secondary, that this is a life's calling. And here are 2 examples right here of 2 who see that vision. Yeah,
let's talk about the competition details. When is it going to happen? Where's it going to happen? And what are the details on that?
Monday the 20th, 5:30 at the Holland Performing Arts Theater. It's free and open to the public. You can go to Holland's ticket website and get tickets. There are going to be people that just walk up that night and they won't be turned away.
Yeah.
But we're having at least, it's a 2.5-hour show, but it goes fast because it's entertaining and people really, there's a lot of variety, and so you won't be bored. In fact, you'll be inspired.
And if students want to get involved for next year's competition, what's that process look like?
We announce in May, last part of April, early May, and we say use the summer to do your craft, to write. Kids being the way they are, they're not going to start writing until September. But that's okay because, you know, I spent time in the high schools too, so I'm no stranger to that population.
Fantastic. Dr. Thompson with the City of Omaha, Peter Willa, thank you so much for your time this morning. It was wonderful to have this conversation. All right, coming up, we've got more information on how you can get involved in this MLK Day. This is KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.